looks like that's recording. Yeah, feel free to type into the chat if you want to make any contributions, or raise your hand. There will be time at the end of the AGM for any discussion or comments that anyone would like to make. So firstly, we wanted to start just by saying TAFSIG is now 3 years old. We started as a group of 5 of us back in 2019, and this is our 3rd anniversary. So happy anniversary to everyone in the TAFSIG team. Today we're going to start by having some introductions from the committee, just for those of you who don't know us. Emma and I will be giving a kind of update on the membership and some of the exciting plans we've got for events this year. Sam, I don't think Sam's here actually, or maybe no, still not here.
He's not here actually, Rob. He said he might be running a little bit late, so I could speak to Sam maybe.
Great, fantastic. Yeah. Thanks, Wayne. So maybe Sam or Wayne will be giving us a review of what we did last year. Eddie's going to give us an update as kind of special projects officer. Wayne will be talking about finances, and then we're going to be saying goodbye to Joe from the committee, and hello to 2 new members of the committee, which we're really excited to join us. And then we'll move on to Coffee Club. Okay. So we're just going to go around and have a brief kind of hello from each of us, introduction. So this is a committee, current committee. I'll start. So I'm Rob. I'm currently teaching at Queen Mary University and doing my PhD at Birkbeck, and I'm the co-convener of the TAFSIG committee. Emma, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Rob. Yep, so I'm Emma. So yeah, with Rob, co-convener. We were here when it all started. It's been great to see it evolve. Yeah, really good. I'm a researcher at the British Council. I'm with the Assessment Research Group. My main research area is IELTS, although I am involved in kind of other British Council related tests and assessment projects. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining today.
Eddie?
Hi everyone, I'm Eddie. So yeah, I'm Special Projects Officer with TAFSIG. I think I've been on the committee for about a year now, a year and a half, something like that. But I'm the assessment lead at the International Pathway College at University of York and teacher. So yeah, I oversee assessment policy and procedures in the department, but have a particular interest in language testing and assessment.
Marusa.
Hi, I'm Marusa. I'm based in Greece. I work for Metropolitan College, where I teach EAP and TASP to students of various, subject areas. I'm, I think, one of the newest members of the committee, if you like. I joined in a few months ago, and I'm really pleased to be here with you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I think we've got Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm based at Liverpool University, and I'm involved in teaching and assessment development at some of our pre-sessional courses. I'm presently discipline-specific in-sessional courses, and I'm looking at ways that we can build in what we've learnt about assessment on pre-sessional and apply it to capturing performance of in-sessional students who go to our support sessions.
Thanks,
I'm
Paul.
very happy to be here and see. I'm also the secretary, of the TAFSIG committee, and I've had this post for a year, and this is my 2nd year, which I'm very excited to continue with. So that's it.
Over to Wayne.
Hi everyone, I'm Wayne. I'm just down the road from Paul in Manchester. It's amazing actually. I've been in the TAFSIG for 3 years, and it's amazing just to see how it's grown really in terms of obviously the committee, but just the interest generally. I'm really proud and happy to be part of this committee and see everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. Jo couldn't make it today. She sends her apologies, and I don't think Sam's here yet. So that's the committee, current committee. I'm just going to give a brief update, kind of building on what Wayne just said about the growth of TAFSIG over the past year. So the committee has grown from 5 to 8 members. this year. The mailing list has grown quite a lot. We had 76 people on our mailing list. Now we've got 120 from 41 UK universities. And as you can see, lots of countries around the world. Some of the newer additions are Taiwan, Turkey, Germany, Canada, and Italy. So there's a kind of a global engagement, but there's still a majority of our members are kind of based in the UK, which is, I think, quite representative of what Barley is like as an institution, even though that's perhaps not what their goal is. That's where we are at the moment. We've got 4 testing organisations. So BAL, UCALTA, ARG is an assessment research group of which Emma is a member, I believe. That's right, Emma, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
And Trinity as well. So we've got some members from these groups. And this last one is a screenshot of our most recent Twitter update. So we've got 336 followers, which I think has grown slightly, but we haven't actually done that much stuff on Twitter this year. And perhaps with our new web officer, that may be something to look at, but maybe not, something to think about. I think Emma's now going to give an update on activities for this year.
Yep. So thanks, Rob. So we have our coffee club, which we'll be hosting every other month. So we've got one today, and then I guess the next one we'll have in 2023. So we'll kickstart in January with that again. We try and host a couple of webinars every year. We do have, I think, one speaker who we're talking to at the moment, but if anyone who's here today is keen to share something with us, or any of your colleagues, please do get in touch. So we're always happy to host more webinars. If you look at our website, we have some really good blogs on there already. We're always keen to get more as well. One thing that we do have on the agenda for sure, we have an event we're going to be co-hosting with the Barleap Listening Special Interest Group, and it'll be an event about assessing listening. It was postponed last year, unfortunately, because one of our speakers was unwell. We did have 300 people registered for that, so we hope that we can still get a good number of those. We'll contact those 300 initially and then open it up to others. We do have one of the same speakers confirmed. That's Franz Holzknecht, and we're talking to a second speaker at the moment. So watch this space. That will probably take place. I would say it's probably now going to be in the new year. We'll keep you updated. The piloting network, I'm not going to say too much about that, but I think Eddie's going to give everyone an update. And then, of course, there's the Barleap biannual conference in April at Warwick, and we will be having some kind of event there as well. So look forward to seeing some of you in Warwick. I think that's it.
Great, thanks, Emma. So perhaps Wayne, if you can, in lieu of Sam, give us a kind of review of last year's events.
Yeah, I will actually. So I can't see the whole screen here, Rob. I don't know what was the power.
Yeah, I was waiting for a slide. I didn't get one, so it's a blank slide at the moment. So I don't know if we can skip that if you don't have anything, Wayne. We could just move on to Eddie.
I think last year, for me, I think the main thing were the coffee clubs, which Emma touched on. I think they are. We kind of designed them so they were kind of unlike very formal events where people give presentations. People would come along and the different interests, different topics, and they kind of formed quite organically. I did think they were very successful actually, just in getting people together and having informal talks about all sorts of things. We probably didn't touch on feedback that much actually. I found most of it kind of was about testing. So I think it would be good to have more on feedback actually. So in the last coffee club, we if anyone wants that, we did touch on feedback more actually. But I do think probably as a group we want to kind of address feedback more really outside kind of like formal instruments. So I think the coffee clubs have been the mainstay of what we've been doing actually. I'm just trying to think of the maybe other than committee, the other events this year has gone back in a whir, really. Actually, the other events that we kind of profile this year, last year, Robert.
I think we had a few kind of pilot networking, piloting network ones, which I think Eddie's gonna touch on.
I can do, Rob. I was going to say we had Elena's workshop, which was well received.
Yeah, on item writing. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I mean, we got a lot of positive feedback from that. So I mean, often kind of we can have kind of quite theoretical input, but I think that was very practical in terms of how you actually design items, and also for people interested in not just item writing but materials design as well, actually. And hopefully we can have a follow up on that. And kind of we're thinking like workshops as well, just to because that kind of format does lend itself quite nicely to a workshop, I think. Although obviously we'd need we would need quite a lot of time for that. Anything else to say on last year? Actually, I'm just trying to think what I kind of pick out. What else was the highlights, rather.
Let's move on to Eddie. I think maybe there might be some crossover with the events as well there. So I'll skip on to Eddie. I'm just going to skip ahead. Yeah, I'll do it like that rather than you telling me to go
Cheers,
point by
Rob.
point.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, so I think it was around about this time last year that we launched the piloting network. For those on the call unfamiliar with the network, the aim was for teachers and test writers across institutions, across universities, but also across organizations and academies to connect, to collaborate, and to provide opportunities to pilot and trial their language tests with EAP students. The launch last November, it followed a fair bit of preparatory work behind the scenes. We were gauging interest, we were collecting and compiling details from participants and what they were looking for. And at the last count, we had 41 registered users of the network from all over the UK and beyond, which is encouraging. And during this first year of the piloting network, Rob and I, we were conducting a bit of research, carrying out interviews with users, those who had signed up, to try and find out what they wanted from the network, the role of piloting in their experience, and how piloting fits into their kind of test writing cycle, and ultimately how we can help shape the network so that it meets the needs of all participants. And that takes me to the future and what we're looking for in the next coming 12 months. The more we spoke to those people, the more we understood that there was real appetite for kind of networking opportunities, not just to provide students to pilot tests, but also to liaise with colleagues, to work with other EAP practitioners, with those who have test writing responsibilities, to discuss, to share ideas, to peer review tasks or instructions or marking criteria, for example. So that kind of peer-to-peer nature is now very central to the piloting network and our plans for it, as well as kind of piloting and trialing in its more traditional sense. Marusa, who's on the call, the latest recruit to the committee, she's been heavily involved in planning these future developments for the network, so it's great to have her on board and involved now. So the aim over the coming year is to provide further guidance and resources on how people can use the network, but also what pilot testing involves, how it can be done on limited resources, and yeah, how test teams can kind of peer review and pilot in all its formats, and how it can improve validity, reliability, and the quality of assessment. So watch this space for more on that over the next 12 months. And if you just skip to the next slide for me, Rob. Related to that, a kind of offshoot project, if you like, in those interviews with network participants, an area we identified as a bit of a knowledge gap, and where there was a real appetite from users to learn more about was test analysis and analyzing test data. Relates to kind of both pilot tests but also live operational tests, But yeah, the participants were really keen to learn more about kind of simple statistical analysis of test data, such as item analysis, distractor analysis, reliability of language tests, facilitator analysis, and then what can be done with that statistical data. So once that's generated, what kind of decisions could be made off the back of it. And from that, I'm glad to say that TAFSIG will soon be holding a webinar on this, and Svetlana and Phil Smith from Reading, who I think are both on the call, will be our guest speakers and be running a workshop webinar on this, potentially as early as the end of this month. But keep an eye out for that. I think there will be real interest in that. I think it'll be well attended. No experience in statistics is necessary, I don't think. Phil and Svetlana, correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, please do keep an eye on that and sign up, and we'll be getting word out on that as and when we have it. And of course, sign up to the piloting network, anyone who has not done so and is interested. I think that's it as far as kind of latest project updates. Rob,
Thanks,
anything
Eddie.
more to say on that, or Maurice or anyone else?
I just wanted to come in and mention that Tineke, who's also here from Lancaster, got in touch recently about potential collaboration with her language testing research group team at Lancaster as a kind of potential for peer review.
Absolutely,
so
I didn't realise Tineke was on the call. Hi, Tineke.
Yeah, so I mean, Tineke, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Hi.
Put you on the spot.
Yes, so at Lancaster we have a language testing research group consisting of academic staff members, so professors who specialize in language testing, and postgraduate students, PhD and some master students, all specializing in language testing and assessment. And while we wouldn't be able to help with piloting as we don't have access to EAP students, we would be very happy to support a TAFSIG, for example, by reviewing or looking at test specifications, tests and item analyses, quantitative as well as qualitative, and things like that. So helping with piloting in the sense of how to prepare for a pilot, how to analyze pilot data, how to interpret, and so on. And we would be happy to dedicate one of our meetings each term. So over the course of a year, we would be happy to do 3 meetings in which we specifically support someone from the TAFSIG community.
Sounds fantastic. Really good.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of interest in that. Thanks, Tineke.
Yes, and it'll be fun for us to do as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Thank you, Tineke. Okay, and thanks for the update, Eddie, as well. Okay, so finances. Wayne, we have finances at last. Would you like to give us a kind of an update on that?
Sorry, I don't want to get everyone's expectations up. I mean, BALIP is a charity, so we are very much run on a kind of no cost basis. Like everything that's been achieved has been just done through the hard work of the committee and people like yourselves who are here to very generously give their time. However, we do have finances because we've opened a bank account and we've got a whole £200 which we've been allocated to. Obviously, we're going to spend that wisely in the interest of the members. But for example, we're thinking of things like travel grants, maybe to go to conferences. For example, BALIP in Warwick coming up next year, or other worthy causes. We could also possibly generate more funds in the future through events or something like that. So we do obviously have to be kind of like financially viable, and we're not looking at kind of generating events to make kind of just for the sake of making profits, but actually having some money available probably does give us more scope. So I mean, if people here do have ideas about, I mean, obviously we've got quite a limited resource, how we could use our funds for the interest of TAFSIG or BALIP generally, do let us have your ideas. because we could, we're at a stage where we can maybe go into things where there is some kind of like financial kind of not exactly investment, but you do need some kind of like financial input. So at the moment we don't really have a lot of money to boast of, but we've only been going 3 years, and I think we're, as we've just been saying in the committee meeting, we're hoping to expand, and maybe we do need some money to do that. Thanks, Rob. Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne. So the last item is is a goodbye and some hellos. Going to say goodbye to Jo Kukushka, who's been our web officer since the very beginning, since we began 3 years ago. In that time, she has set up the website, which I'm sure you guys have all seen. She's also coordinated a number of kind of podcast interviews and generally been incredibly helpful on the organizing and tech side of things. So we're really sad that she's leaving us, but she's got about 50,000 other projects going on at the moment, including a PhD. So we wish her well, and yeah, unfortunately she sent her apologies. She can't be with us today, but sad to see you go, Jo. But with a goodbye comes a hello, and we've got 2 hellos. We'd like to welcome Graham Shipman, who I believe is here today, as Jo's replacement as a web officer. So Graham, I don't know if you'd like to introduce yourself or just say hello to us.
Hi there. Hopefully Jo won't be too busy to have a chat with me so that she can bring me up to speed on what she's been doing. It sounds like she's been doing quite a lot. Until August, I was pre-sessional English course leader at Wolverhampton University, and also in charge of online exams. I've got a depth of experience in technology and pedagogy, and hope to be able to share it with you all.
Thanks, Graham. Really glad that you're joining us. Look forward to hearing about your work in those areas. And alongside Graham, Chris Smith is going to be joining us as ordinary member. Chris is a long-time member, active member of the SIG. He's recently moved from Sheffield to Edinburgh now, I think, where he's the pre-sessional director there. But he got in touch and he said he'd like to be involved as a ordinary member. That grows our SIG to nine people, which is quite the committee to 9 people, which is quite big. But one of the reasons is next year a lot of the founding members, including myself and Emma, will be reaching the end of our term. So we're kind of hoping that people who are currently as ordinary members or newer to the committee, it's going to be a bit of a transitionary time, and next year when we step down, there'll be plenty of people ready to take on the roles of conveners and events officers and so on. So hello to Graham and Chris. Welcome to the committee. All right, so I'm just going to open up to any questions, suggestions, or comments. I'm going to stop recording as well now.